Establishing a senior market in a rural area, because describe where you're at a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the Teton Valley. So it's basically 3 different cities on the Idaho side of the Teton Mountains.
Right.
So just across the pass from us is Jackson Hole, which a lot of people are familiar with, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But on our side, I want to say there's roughly 10,000 people. We have 2 stoplights in the whole valley. 1 high school, 1 middle school, 3 elementary schools. So it's pretty small.
Well, and it's not 10,000 people tightly compacted.
No, that's over the whole valley.
10,000 people in the valley, right?
I want to say the city of Driggs is maybe like 2,000 people tops, right? So there's a lot of county, there's a lot of, dispersed people like their space.
Right, so it's not like you have just people all over the place that you can draw from in your market. Now, I think there's a lot of people in this situation too that could be watching this that are like, oh yeah, I saw this marketing plan from so-and-so, or I saw this idea from so-and-so, and they're in Southern California, surrounded by 80 million people that can, even if they get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction, they're going to be in great shape.
Right.
So in your situation, here you are in this rural community where people are spread out, and there's not a ton of them to begin with.
Right.
What do you do?
So that's been really a fun exploratory experience, right? Because what do you do? It helped for me that my kids are that age. So I have a 2024 and a 2025 senior.
Yep.
But I often also found that their friends were definitely not my ideal clients.
Why is that?
They just were not. Our high school has issues. I love those so much, but I think one of the reasons I really wanted to get into seniors, especially as my kids were that age, is I looked through our yearbook one year and I was like, what are these?
Right.
Like, how are these senior portraits?
Yep.
Like, how does this really encapsulate like everything you've accomplished to this point as a senior? And I'm like, there's definitely
we can do better
here. We could do better. We could do better. I want better for my kids. And I was like, I can't be the only one that wants something more for their kids.
Sure. Well, and you were in a position too to know that it could be done better. And I think a lot of times we make these assumptions, well, that everybody like has this realization that it can be so much better. Well, a lot of times they don't know what they don't know, right? So you're in a position to actually teach people or show people what it is that can be done, right? And then when they see that, that can spread like wildfire regardless of how big the area or the community is, right?
I mean, teenagers talk.
Of course they do.
Right? They get excited over each other's portraits.
Right.
I am more on the expensive side, and I provide social media digital files and artwork. And so there is a lot of education about that, about the power of artwork, how that can help a senior with confidence throughout their whole senior year. If they have this beautiful hero image on their wall that they can look up and see every day, and they're like, okay, crap, I have a calculus test today, but dang, I look amazing, right? I look good. And just, senior year's tough. They've got a lot going on. They've got a lot of decisions to make. And so I think that's what I love about seniors, is helping them create that confidence and just see themselves as everybody else sees them. They deal with so much.
Well, that can pay dividends for years or even decades down the road, right? Those little pieces.
Yep,
I like
love that.
So, what sort of campaigns have you created or initiated with your seniors, considering all the circumstances that you're in with a smaller market? Like, what's worked?
Yeah, so last spring, I did a 2026 senior launch party where I actually got these really cute boxes. I got tiaras for the girls, really fun sunglasses for the guys, threw in some candy. I was like, hey, you ready for your senior year? Come to my launch party. We'll talk about senior portraits. We took some fun photo backdrop style with fun props. You're a senior now. So we did that with, I probably had 14 or 15 kids come and, talked about senior portraits, got them all hyped up. And then, from that, I think I booked 1 senior. But 1 out of 14 is actually pretty decent marketing.
Yeah.
And that senior has been fantastic. She's some of my favorite images we've ever done.
But you're also creating buzz.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
It's all part of the marketing experience, and you're putting yourself out there more, and people are becoming more and more familiar with who you are and what you do. And the fact that you're priced higher, there's that perceived value to who you are and what you offer as well. Is that am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the reason I say that is to not discourage, is for people that feel discouraged regardless of what those numbers are coming in. Like, there are benefits to being proactive in that space, right?
Absolutely.
That you can't always like measure right away.
Yeah.
Maybe it's somebody's sister or somebody's friend or somebody's cousin, right?
Yeah, like I said, my kids' friends were maybe not my ideal clients.
Which is fine.
They know people.
Yep.
And their friends know people,
yep.
right? And so the more you can get out there and get visible, the more chance you have of your name getting out there, right? And I'm starting this business from scratch. Like, I've been in this community for 5 years, not as a photographer, and then suddenly I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing this photography business, right? Which is a challenge. They're like, oh wait, Jess, what? And I'm like, no, actually I'm really good, I promise.
I've done this before.
Right? So it's coming out there and showing people and showing up to places as a photographer, you know, taking my camera. I love football games anyway. I have 0 kids on the football team. I don't have a cheerleader. I love, and everybody, it's rural town, right? Friday night, you go to the football game. Like, that's where everybody is. And so we have a brand new football coach. I was like, hey, so can I show up and like be on the sidelines? Can I come take football photos for you? And he's like, heck yeah, you can.
Just walk on down here.
Right? You know, and I know there are some places where you have to have a press pass, or you have to do all those things. But being from a rural town where everything is a little bit more loose has some advantages. So I can show up with my long 70 to 200 lens that looks really professional, and I'm on the sidelines, and my husband's up in the stands, and he's like, oh yeah, I got the like, so your wife's down there and her equipment looks pretty professional, right? And my husband's like, yeah, she's a professional photographer, right?
She is one. Right.
So it's just showing up and being in those spaces. So this fall I went to football, I did soccer, cross country, showed up at the volleyball game, just trying to get out there and then, you know, send the teams those images so they can use them on social media. One thing that I'm doing this fall is I love your little, the Polaroid snapshot, right? So if I print out a bunch of those of the kids that have played in their sports this year, give them to the coach, try and find their address, mail them to the parents, something so that these kids have printed pictures of them playing sports. Because the digital's all great and they'll put them on their phone or they'll show them on social media and then they're gone, right? Like, I still have a 5x7 black and white of me playing volleyball in high school. And I treasure that because of a parent. Because of a parent. A parent showed up to the game and took pictures of my volleyball team. And it's me, like, I was middle blocker, so I'm at the net, like, ready to go. I love that. I treasure that photo still, how many years later. And I'm like, I want that for those kids. I want them to have something.